Hey everyone, from 1Route, I'm Jeffrey Ross, and you're watching the 1Route Roundup, the show that spotlights individuals making a positive difference in the telecom industry. Today, we're joined by Vasily Berulin, currently the managing director of AB Handshake Corporation. He's previously been the CCO and group director of Interconnect and Data Commerce at Vion, head of multimedia and convergence at Beeline, the co-founder and advisor to ProGkids.com, an online school which teaches kids programming with a personal tutor or on their own, and has been known to dabble a little in some jujitsu. Vasily, welcome to the show.
Jeffrey, that is a very exhaustive introduction indeed. So thank you for that, man. So you definitely studied my history.
Nice well, we try to do our best to research, although your co-workers are very good at not giving me any fun stories on you that I can share with the rest of the world, but we'll let you do that.
Okay, so maybe that's because of me. I'm too shy at work, so I'm not sharing
it's good. Much. Well, for our audience today, Vasily, where in the world are you?
Well, I'm based in Amsterdam, so I'm now in this shiny and rainy city, which is, well, how they say it, if you're not comfortable with the weather, just wait for 5 minutes.
So it's like the Texas of Europe.
Yeah, you can say so. You can say so.
You know, here in Texas, it's if you don't like the weather, wait around a minute and it'll change.
That would definitely change. Yes, the same here because it's flat. There's windy, so it's just blowing out. And you can get it changed like immediately in 5 minutes.
That sounds just like where I grew up, flat and windy. So
absolutely,
to all the West Texas viewers, flat and windy. That's what we're used to. Okay. We want to start off today like we do with everybody, and really to shine a spotlight. You're doing amazing work, have done amazing work, and continue to do amazing work. But really, what got you into the telecom industry?
Wow, that's an interesting question. The answer is quite something is expected. It was a pure chance. Yeah, it was a pure chance.
Oddly enough, that's what most people say.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's it is what it is. So I was a postgraduate, and I was working in software development. So like a long ago in a galaxy far away, I was a software designer and a database administrator and designer. And then I just got a call from my alumni, and he was saying, okay, there is a nice spot, the engineering vacancy in the telco, in the Russian telco, and well, I'm busy now, so probably you can try that. And this is how I got into the network development department of top 3 biggest telcos in Russia.
Oh.
And this is where actually I started, and I spent there quite some time before, and I grew with that. So I know it from the very bottom, so from nuts and bolts up to the like a high level network development story. So I'm an engineer in my DNA, and well, I would say the first 10 years of my career were purely engineering.
That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge opportunity, and to work, like you said, big telco, not just mom and pop shop, as we would call it.
Yeah. Okay. It has like upsides and downsides, because it's definitely the upside is that you see the scale and you feel the scale and you see like a huge mechanism which is moving. But the downside is that at a certain point you start feeling yourself as like a small nut, and also you would like to make a difference, you would like to make a change, and also you sometimes get tired of the bureaucracy, and this is why you start crawling up, so that you really can influence the process.
Right.
And this was my managerial career. So this is what was driving me actually as a manager.
I was about to ask you, but you already hit the nail on the head as far as what was the catalyst that made you change from telco to supplier for our audience to understand. You
Oh,
know, how
that's
do you go from one to the other?
well, it's I was on I would make a detour. So I was one of my best ever trainings, like a coaching, was from Kid Codes. There's a guy from South Africa, and he personally knew Nelson Mandela. Yeah, fantastic guy, and actually he left a big spot in my heart and in my brain. And he was delivering a course which was called a Savvy Leadership. It was like a 3-day, fully isolated, the nice and fancy. And then he has gotten a question. So, Kit, can you just tell me in three messages? So, what is about a Savvy Leadership? And one of them, I would keep the other two just for the dessert, but the one of them was life is a journey. So easy come, easy go. Yeah. And that is exactly that I'm keeping with myself. So life is a journey. Yeah. So
it's not a destination.
Yes, you got this. You have to have a destination, and the destination should be something bright, and this is where you really bring value to people. I can understand this is a little bit altruistic, but it is what it is. So this is my motto.
No, I like
and yeah,
that's fantastic. Well, one thing that I love to hear from people around the world is their perspective. And you're a well-traveled man, and you have dealt with and continue to deal with telcos from major areas of the world, not just one specific place. Can you shed a little light on, from your perspective, and let's get into the fraud area of telecom, from the point of view of different countries that you've been involved with or that you're currently involved with? Are we all just dealing with the same type of fraud, or do other countries deal with different types of fraud? What's kind of your perspective on fraud in general with telecom?
Yeah. So when I moved from the technical assignments to a more commercial role, it was in 2015. Well, 2016 to be more precise. I just faced it was like a real storm of information, because I had to deal with 13 operational companies that time, absolutely spread across the different countries. So it was CIS, it was Europe, it was Africa, it was Asia. We at certain point even had operations in Canada. It was Wind Canada. Okay. So, but I really like our paths overlapped maybe for a couple of months only, because then it was sold off. But anyways, yeah. As I said, life is a journey.
Right.
And I can tell you that it was really a mass of information. It was like huge waves hitting me. Coming back to a question, I would say that definitely in the different parts of the world, the mechanisms, because after all, fraud is practically doing something illegal to earn benefits, on behalf of others. Right. So fraud is fraud everywhere, but the ways how fraud is performed is of course different, because they're to a great extent relying on the traffic flows, and also on the migration, and on the patterns, on the usage patterns of the customers.
Do you think
just to give you
yeah. I was going to say, do you think fraud occurs more, I guess, in highly populated areas, or do you think it's more easier for the fraudster to take advantage of maybe telcos that are more rural, or what do you think?
Well, there's actually two main differentiators. Is first of all is MTR is mobile termination rate. Is how expensive to land the traffic in a certain country.
Okay.
And the second one, of course, as you rightfully mentioned, is that how is the usage, is how many people are calling each other between different countries. And that is why and the different types of fraud are normally utilized in these cases. And there's more cases than that, but I just put on the table the ones which are easiest to explain. So coming back to the first one is that when you have an expensive termination, then definitely fraudsters are trying to find the backdoors, how to terminate it in alternative ways, still landed in the country. So some kind of SIM boxing and refiling, etc. They still would like to charge the customers on their side the proper pricing, but they would like, of course, to land it in cheaper. And yep, that's the first one.
I really like what you said earlier. Fraud is fraud. I mean, yeah. I really like that. So it sounds like you know, the difference from country to country, and you'll have to bear with me because I mean, basically, I've only been in this industry for a few years compared to a lot. So it's really sounding more and more as I talk with people, like you said, the mechanism. It's not that fraud is fraud, but each country, how they deal with it or how they receive the fraud or get exploited by fraud is the delivery, right? Whether Simbox, Wangiri, whatever, you know, call short stopping, stretching,
PBX hacking, all this kind of stuff.
Do you think there's a common fraud that is just the same across the board globally? Would it be like SIM boxes or the most common?
Yeah, that's it's. I would say it's better to call it not the common one, but the most popular one. So the easiest way to extract cash is actually man in the middle. So playing a man in the middle.
Yeah.
It's if it is an official, then it's arbitrage, right? So I'm buying and I'm selling. Okay. If it's non-official, that's man in the middle. So like, let's assume like we are communicating between each other, we're doing business with each other, but there's always who would like to step in between, actually eat part of our lunch.
I like the way you put that. That's good. That is good. That's a good analogy. You know, I look at, I was thinking about this the other day, and I look at fraud in general. Fraudsters are like mosquitoes. You know, it's if you treat your own house, your own area for mosquitoes, you may get rid of the mosquitoes in your area, but if your neighbors aren't taking care of them as well, they're still there. And as soon as you leave your safe boundaries, you're gonna get bit, right?
Yeah, that's also a very good analogy. That's right. So this is about this collective hygiene.
So that kind of leads me into what I want to talk about next is collaboration. And we'll use the mosquito analogy. Essentially, if you're not collaborating with your neighbors to get rid of the mosquitoes, they'll still be there, right?
Yeah.
So one thing and I love that we have you on because we get the perspective of both having someone been both sides, telco supplier. Having been on both sides, do you see or have you seen good collaboration between telcos and suppliers? Or do you feel like there's not, or I should say maybe there's room for improvement? How's that?
Oh yeah, so it's like you're putting me on a hard spot now, because like I have a chance to get some to become a bit unpopular.
Okay, here let's do this. Supplier to supplier, do you feel like there's good collaboration? You know, we'll leave the telcos out of it.
Well, supplier to supplier, the answer is very simple. It's primarily, and unfortunately, the suppliers, they prefer to follow like a red ocean strategy. Like they just would like to grab as much of the market as they want, as they can, but want and can, of course. But
Yeah.
there is no like win-win strategy so far, and in majority. And it is really important that that finally there is actually a turnaround in terms of talking between the vendors. So they finally started to build some alliances, and because they understand that tackling the global problem is not possible with just the efforts of one solution.
Right.
And I think this is the most important one. And I still, because you posted the question, this is a rightful question, and I have to answer that.
You don't.
Yeah, but that's I also see the same pattern happening across the globe, also on the operator side.
Okay.
Because with the vendor, the driver was slightly different. They were just fighting for the market share. And on the operator side, on the service provider side, well, the main driver was that we just don't care what's happening in the neighbor's garden. We just care taking care of our garden. Now they understand, because that just taking care of your own garden doesn't work really. It works, but it's very like a short-sighted thing.
Right.
So that's
the
world is changing. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's evolving, and people are starting to we are all starting to open our eyes to the fact that, hey, maybe if we work together, we can eliminate this for good, or really tackle the issues at hand. So, and I often wondered about this, and we spoke about collaboration at the RAG conference that was in New Orleans. And essentially it was a kind of a call to, or not a call, but a platform to say hello to the telcos, to the suppliers. Why are we not working together? We should work together to eliminate the problem. Because honestly, Vasily, I started looking at it personally from a standpoint of other industries and how they've collaborated to accomplish a goal. I mean, my background formerly was in banking, and you get into international cross-border banking has to occur. So there had to be some collaboration. I mean, you could even go into music. There's collaboration there, but really one that I thought of again was like the space program. The collaboration between countries, not just one, but multiple countries into space. And I keep thinking to myself, we're able to do this. We're able to work together and put people in an international space station or send a rover to Mars, but we can't get rid of SIM boxes, So,
yeah, like looking into the stars, but not taking care of your back garden, right?
Yeah. It's like, well, wait a second. If we can do that through collaboration, we can accomplish some amazing things. And obviously, Vasily, by the time this airs, I believe, we as in 1Route AB Handshake, we're collaborating and with the idea of working together as suppliers to help the telcos, to help the industry actually end this problem with voice fraud. So we're honored and happy to collaborate and excited about things to come. But the last thing I want you to talk about a little bit, and this goes again on collaborating, and it's outside the telecom industry, but it plays a little bit. I would love to hear a little bit about the prokids.com and how you got involved with, because to me it's such an awesome way that you give back to the future generations, right? So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, with my pleasure. So first of all, I just would like to respond to your last words. So I cannot say it better than you than that. So because it is the collaboration, especially in the telco space, especially in the fraud telco space, is paramount. And we really appreciate, I personally appreciate your efforts and efforts of 1Route. And I really value our collaboration and looking forward to that.
It's likewise.
Absolutely. So it's sincere. So about the Prop Kids, it started, as you can guess, with the kids.
Yeah.
So, so I was talking to one of my friends who then became a partner in this project. And by the way, you also acquainted with that person, so we met together. And so we had kids, and he was like obsessed with the idea of the programming, and he also was obsessed with the idea that this planet needs more and more programmers, more and more coders, and that the demand for and also the new digital industry put a quite a serious demand on the people who can create the code, who can create software. And the only way how to get it is actually get it from the kids, from the new generation. And then there was another idea saying, okay, but well, well, you cannot just tie the person or a kid to a computer and make him learn Python or whatever you want him to learn. It was another idea of moving them through the gaming experience.
Okay.
And then we were thinking, okay, what is the most popular game for which also somehow related to crafting, related to creation? And it was Minecraft. Okay. And then it's actually collided. These two ideas collided. So how to make people or kids learning coding without thinking that they're learning coding.
Yeah, that's clever.
It's gaming, and that is how we came to this idea. So we put together the web interface with the visual. First, it was a visual programming. Then it was more sophisticated one with the real coding language. And then we connected it on a lower level with a Java machine with Minecraft world.
Okay.
So you could create a program, and the simplest one is like you put a loop, like you create 100 cows, and then you put on top one wolf, and they start interacting with each other. Well, that was the beauty of that.
Yeah.
And this is so it's this project has an NPS close to 10. It's like the people who just get into that because they and well, we're selling this to the parents,
right?
Obviously, because they have the cash. People like kids don't.
No, I got you there.
But then they realize that the kids are just following that seamless track of moving through gaming into learning. Well, parents are getting obsessed as well because this is solving their biggest problem. The biggest problem is that the kids are spending more time on gaming than on learning. And this was the idea behind that. So how to convert it? Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell.
I like it. Well, and thank you for that. And it's amazing. So, you know, as we've said, having kids, I love there's collaboration, but there's the just thinking outside the box to accomplish a task and goals. So Vasily, now comes the time that I enjoy a lot. And I think you would agree that as you meet people in the industry, go to conferences or meetings, that you don't really get to know who somebody is, right? You know, a few minutes here, a few minutes there, but you don't really know them well. So the scientists at a late show for Stephen Colbert came up with a questionnaire, and then the 1Route scientists went to the labs and tweaked it a little bit. So we came up with an altered questionnaire that is 15 questions, and by the end, the public will know who Vasily is. So now, Vasily Berulin, are you ready to take the questionnaire?
Am I ready for the challenge? Yes.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Question number 1, Vasily, what is the best sandwich?
Tuna sandwich.
Tuna. Yeah. What is one thing that you own that you should really throw out?
That's a tricky one. something that I don't really need to draw. I have to think about it. Yeah.
Right. And it's
Because
okay.
I'm an engineer. I'm very pragmatic. I don't keep the things that I don't need.
You are efficient is what's a good word there. You're efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the scariest animal?
Before I had kids, it was a spider.
Okay.
But then the kids actually changed my mind because they love insects, and I also like, so it was like a extra spider. Let's
there
put
you
it
go.
like this. Yeah. So I
It
don't
opens,
have arachnophobia anymore.
it opens your eyes. You know, camel spiders, those things give me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Those are,
Yeah. Acknowledge.
I don't want my kids to catch one of those.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Yeah. That's actually a beast, right?
Apples or oranges?
Oranges.
Well, you can't put peanut butter on an orange.
Can you on apple?
Absolutely.
Never tried. I have to because I like the peanut butter. You know how they call it here? They call it pindakaas.
Ah, okay. Well, you need to try it. It's good.
Okay.
It really is.
Okay.
Have you ever asked anybody for an autograph?
No.
Fair enough. What is your favorite action movie?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah, I like it. Favorite smell?
Cinnamon.
Ooh, I like that. What is your least favorite smell?
A part of the common ones, I would say it's a medical, this kind of spirits, etc. So the ones that the meds.
I got you. What was your first cell phone?
Well, I can tell you about that. It was Motorola International 8800. It was bigger than my palm. It was.
It's a self-defense phone.
Yes, it was 400 grams, so I could throw that and do substantial damage to a person. The battery could last more than a week, and that was back in 1999, which is tremendous, and it was beautiful. So after that, I became a Motorola addict for 10 plus years. Absolutely. So
a battery lasting a week in today's time would be good.
yeah, but that time, that was because, well, out of these 400 grams, maybe like 300 was battery. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, do you prefer flat or sparkling?
Flat.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Tea.
Yeah.
It's like watered down.
I'm not a coffee addict. I'm crazy enough by myself. That's
Tea's like hot water, Vasily.
I would just bear with that. Okay.
I like to say it's
like you, man, so I can forgive it.
People are choosing. Basically, do you prefer beans or leaves? That's not a real question.
Yeah.
What is the most used app on your phone?
Telegram.
There you go.
Before it was WhatsApp, now it's Telegram for certain reasons.
But it's a communication app, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you had one song to listen to for the rest of your life, what song would that be?
Oh, that would be U2. With or without you.
That's a classic, dude. That's a good one.
Yeah, we like this is an old man speech.
No, back in our day.
yeah. When the trees were high.
That's right. What number am I thinking of?
5.
No. One of these days, somebody will get it. All right, last one. Describe the rest of your life in 5 words.
I want to be a happy man. Or, okay, we can remove that.
There you go. Either way, it's an incredible way to sum it up. So all that there's left to do is roll out the red carpet, stare into the camera, and tell us what is on the horizon for Vasily.
Yeah, so here I would like to take this opportunity from the professional perspective to give a little bit of perspective on what we are doing in AB Handshake, because we have a like a quite ambitious task to remove and to tackle the international voice fraud, not only voice, but going further also to the SMS fraud on a global level. So what we're creating is a global community. We strongly believe that all future efficiency is built on the community. And we are providing a solution, and well, we are providing it with our partners, and 1Route being one of the most important ones in this task to tackle the international voice fraud through the call validation. So the idea is that we are putting in place the different paradigm. Instead of just hunting for fraud and just following its trail, we would like to introduce the call validation service that can predict the fraud and can actually eliminate it before it even happened.
That's fair.
The idea behind this is just communication between, so we are installing a certain piece of software on both sides of the operator networks. And while the person A is calling person B, we are using the outbound channel, we are cross-validating if indeed all the credentials of the call fitting each other on both sides. And by this, we are actually predicting if any person, I mean that man in the middle, are doing anything wrong with the call. That's it in a nutshell. And we're now we're on a good track. We're building a community, and we're also looking forward to connect not only the countries but also connect the continents with your help, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
We know the project, and yes, we are very optimistic about that because we already have built a foundation for this community, and we have loyal customers, and looking forward to expanding this really on a global level.
I love it. Well, Vasily, thank you so much for being with us today. And to the audience, make sure to like, subscribe, and do all the social media stuff that people do today. And let us, two old guys on the video, talk about the days of yore when there wasn't social media. But like us, subscribe us to keep up, and we look forward to the next go round. Vasily,
Yeah,
I'll talk to you later.
Yes. Thank you, Jeffrey.